My friends, if you've been watching, the Diddy story is nowhere even remotely near any kind of conclusion or a hint of conclusion in what are nothing short of bombshell allegations. An additional 120 new victims have come forward to accuse Diddy of sex abuse with now several underage victims, including a 9-year-old allegation of an individual, 9 years old. He is, of course, presumed innocent, whether it's civil or criminal. You understand at least the theory behind that. The claims were made by Texas lawyer Tony Buzbee, who announced he's representing 120 victims whom he believes have legitimate cases and he believes were affected and damaged and assaulted by him against this rapper. Of the 120 new victims alleged, 25 were underage when the alleged abuse happened, according to him. The youngest ages were 9, 14, and 15. This was pursuant to a Houston press conference that this lawyer had. So Diddy is now facing more allegations from an additional 120 victims. Again, some of whom as young as 9. Now, the victims, it is alleged, came forward mostly after federal prosecutors and the like announced this indictment against Diddy and arrested him last week. The victims are scattered throughout the country, but many are in California, New York, Florida, and Georgia. Much of the alleged abuse happened at parties such as Diddy's infamous now white parties or puppy parties. Forget the freak-offs, these are puppy parties. However, they also apparently allegedly happened at auditions where victims, including the 9-year-old boy, was allegedly abused by Mr. Combs and several others who promised him a record deal. You got to ask yourself, where are the parents and how did this happen? But that will happen later. There is no contributory negligence in this. You can't diminish, you can't discount the horrors because parents or legal guardians were remiss. There was a hotline number for other potential victims. And he said specifically, Mr. Buzbee said, if you're out there and you have been victimized, you are not alone. So what does this mean? What this means is that the level of complexity, the level of, the level of damage is now almost incalculable. There will most probably be some form of a receivership, a bankruptcy, something to marshal his assets. Once settlements are made, this could be bigger than anything you can imagine. And more importantly, because of the multi-layered alleged neglect, you could have, in addition to him, record labels, producers, executives, people. They're going to go obviously for deep pockets. Who knew about this? Who allowed this to happen? Who provided this? Who allowed this to happen? This is what's really going on here. It's incredible. And you're going to be hearing more and more as it piles on to the point. Now, and I want to be very careful. very careful as to what I am saying. But if I had to advise the people in this case, I would say Mr. Combs must be removed immediately. He must be placed in, let's say, an abandoned, let's say, a federal Air Force base, something that was that's available. He's got to be under 24-hour check. He is the highest asset prisoner, and what he knows is even greater than that of that other fellow who was miraculously or amazingly dispatched while he was in custody. So all of these things are taken into account, my friends. All of these critical issues are being taken into account. This goes so deep that it would certainly, I think, behoove in any other scenario those individuals who are looking at potential criminal and civil exposure to perhaps employ some form of, as we say, self-help to eliminate, to obviate, to interrupt Mr. Combs from involving himself in what appears to be something that we have never seen. And when this happens, and you get kids and people and adults, and they're pointing fingers, and they're saying not only was Diddy there, but he was there, and you start going through a who's who of everybody in the music and entertainment business. Think about the names, and it goes even higher. What if there are political names? What if there are famous actors, musicians? Go through the list. Do you think they're going to allow this to occur? Because remember, if there is no Diddy, there really is no case. It's all... And I want to be very careful what I'm saying. This is why he needs to be removed immediately from Brooklyn, put into a place, maybe an Air Force base or some administrative facility where he can be watched, where he can be in a cell with detectors and cameras that can pick up on changes in body temperature and a variety of other indicia of trauma. Do you get what I'm saying? Are you following this? This is enormous. So my friends, please, I ask you, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Lionel Nation. Make sure. I'm a licensed trial lawyer, former prosecutor. I'm not going to tell you stuff just because, this sounds, exciting. No. I'm going to give you the God's honest truth. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Hit that little bell. And more importantly, my friend, comment. Comment as you see fit.